So friend, Dr. Nathan is just going to join. क्विज हमारा अराउंड 6:50 पे शुरू करेंगे दोस्तों। 6:50 पे हम लोग क्विज स्टार्ट करेंगे आज का। ठीक है रिंचू वर्मा जी?
हेलो सर।
हाँ नितिन जी, हाँ प्लीज। अब आपका
ओके सर।
या नाउ थिंग्स आर फाइन, यू कैन स्टार्ट सर। थैंक यू।
ओके। सबसे पहले हमें जो स्टार्ट करना है, जो हमारा लास्ट टू लास्ट क्लास में केस स्टडीज रह गई थी हमारी, अब मैं डायरेक्टली एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ क्योंकि ये सब कुछ चीजें हमने डिटेल में देख ली है। जैसे कि दैट टॉपिक वी हैव ऑलरेडी बीन कवर्ड, लाइक लोअर केसिंग, removing the stop word, tokenization, stemming, lemmatization, remove the punctuations, then remove the numbers, spell checking, and the remaining part is the case studies. Okay, so that basically case study will take one file, and from on that file we'll apply all these text processing stuffs. Okay. Quickly I will revise this part. So in the last to last class we include the NLTK library by writing import NLTK. The lower casing, for lower casing we use the dot lower method. Then we have discussed the stop word removal, that is the high frequency of word that is present in your document. And to remove the stop word, we first need to import the stop word which is present in the nltk.corpus. There are lot many files that is present in the stop word corpus, okay, that you can get with the help of file IDs method, and out of which I'm only interested in the words that is related with the English language only. Okay, that part have already been covered. I'm just revising this thing. Now, we have discussed one example in which I have taken the austinema.txt file, which is present in the Gutenberg corpus, and I just filter out that austinema.txt file. Okay, means filter out means that remove the stop word by using this line of code. W for W in text, if W dot lower not in the stop word. Okay, so we are just calculate, find out the stop word over here, and we checked it actual and we filter the content of the file. So this is the stop word example that we have thoroughly discussed. After that, I have taken one case studies in which I have taken one input text that is a Game of Thrones block, and apply the same, and that is same function, that is stop word removal function on to remove the stop word from the input underscore text. Then after we have shifted for the tokenization. Tokenization means breaking your text into the sentences or the word. Okay, normally we prefer to use the word tokenization, but for some application you may go with the sentence tokenization also. So also we have discussed the example over here. We have discussed that one string hello students Python, this is my one sentence, and second sentence is this is NLTK, and this is what the complete text. Okay, and on which we have discussed the saint underscore tokenized class, on which we have applied the saint underscore tokenized class which is present in the nltk.tokenize to get the sentence. Okay, so let me just show you. Okay, this is what the sentence tokenization. After that, we have discussed the same case study Game of Thrones block, on which we will apply the sentence tokenization. Then we apply the word tokenization by using the word underscore tokenize class, okay, and do the word tokenization. Also, we apply the tokenization on the user input. By capturing the user input using the input method, we apply the word tokenization, and also we can apply the sentence tokenization. Then after that we shifted over to remove the punctuation and the number from the text. Okay, and so this part, that is in this part we have discussed this is your sentence, okay, or I can say the text. So first we need to convert it into the tokens, and then after we apply the isAlpha method to remove the punctuation and numbers from the text. Then The stemming we have discussed. In the stemming means that is the root word. Many a times we just only want the root word when we do the projects like sentiments analysis, opinion mining. Okay, so kind of project in which we need this thing that the actual word we need, that is the root word, and for that we have discussed the Porter stemmer and the Lancaster stemmer. As a part of stemming we have the two stemmer, Porter stemmer and the Lancaster stemmer. So the first part, we need to create the object of this Porter stemmer class, then need to use the dot stem method and pass the particular word that on which you want to apply the stemming. So this is what the example we have discussed for the Porter stemmer. Then Lancaster stemmer, same. We create the object of Lancaster stemmer and then apply the dot stem method. Now the next part that we have discussed, that is the lemmatization. Lemmatization and stemmer is having the different that during the lemmatization every time you will get the actual root word, because it uses the concept of wordnet oblique dictionary. Wordnet means it is the kind of dictionary where you'll having the standard word. So before removing the affixes, after removing the affixes, it checks the root word through the dictionary, whether that word is present in the dictionary. So every time when we use the lemmatization, every time you will get the actual word. Then we have discussed one advanced part, that is the spell checking part. So, and for the spell checking part, we need to install this autocorrect. Okay, autocorrect is the library that we need to install, and we use the speller class from the autocorrect. Okay, so the speller, we create the object by passing the language as English language, and I passed, this is the world of hope. So here, observe here, the WRLD is here, the spelling mistake is over here. So to handle this kind of spell checking, we first divide the sentence or divide the text into the token. Okay, and after that we apply this after that we apply this spell of W, that is the speller class, and just correct it, the word that we have, that is the spell checking and correction. So WRLD is get identified and it get rectified over here. Now after that we have discussed that part, that is removing the punctuation. This is also the part of the your text pre-processing, so where we just remove the punctuation from the text. Okay, so this is what the example also we have discussed. The punctuation means at the rate. Okay, at the rate sign we have removed. Removing the number, you can remove the number from the text by using the is digit method. That part also we have discussed. Now from this part I'm starting this session. Okay, that open the file and read it, and after that we'll go for the case study of the pre-processing. Now let's start with the actual part, today's part. So how to open the file? So to open the file in Python, we have the open function. Okay, and this sprite.txt file, it is present in my root directory. I will show you it to you. I will show it to you first. Yes, this is what the pride.txt file. Okay, and on which I want to apply all these pre-processing steps. Okay, this is what my file. So we first need to read it into the Jupyter notebook. So to read the file, we have the open function in Python. So open in bracket name of the particular file and the encoding. Encoding means that is the somehow the data is encoded form. So we just add the encoding as UTF-8. Okay, so this is what we read the file. Okay, using open function. Now dot read is the method to read the content of the file. These are the simple Python methods. Okay, in file handling, these are the methods: open function, read function, open in read mode, open in write mode, open in appending mode. So there are several parameters over here, but I don't want to discuss that one. I just want to discuss this pre-processing related part. Now next one is to read the file. So to read the file, we have the read method. Okay, app.read, and store it into the text. And let me just print this text. Now I printed the text over here. Okay, so this is what my text, the complete text, chapter 1. Okay, now on this I'm applying the case study means whatever we have discussed, I'm applying over here, okay, with the help of this code. So in this code, I have applied everything. Like first we read the file. Let me just first start with the libraries that are needed. The NLTK library we need, string library, then word underscore tokenize, then stop word, that nltk.corpus import stop word. Then we need the importer streamer, okay, and also we use the punctuation class which is present in the string. So we create here one function that is called with the help of deep keyword preprocess function, and in which I'm passing the file name parameter. Okay, so whatever we have discussed how to open the file, the same code I have copied over here. Okay, so with this line we just open the file. Then the second statement, with the help of this we read the content of the file. Then we convert the text into the lowercase to avoid the confusion, which is our first part of the pre-processing. After that we remove the punctuations. Okay, after that we remove the punctuation from the text that are not needed, because we want to pre-process it. So with this line of code we remove the punctuation. Then then also I just remove the numbers from my text by using this line, that remove number text underscore rn means text remove number. So we get the text underscore rn. Then we go for the tokenization. Okay, so whatever we get, then first we'll tokenize text underscore p, we pass it and do the tokenization. Okay, and after that we'll go for the removal of the stop word by using the stop word dot words, by passing the English as my language. Okay, English words are needed, and store it into the stop word, and the word for word in word if word not in the stop word. Through this line you can remove the stop word from your text. Then after that we'll go for the steaming, and here I'm using the porter steamer first. Okay, then after we will use the Lancaster steamer also, and also after that we'll use the lematizer. So porter will create the object of the porter steamer class, and then we apply this porter.steam method on the words for word in filtered words. Okay, so here specifically we have the lot much text, so that's why we need to write it into the loop form. Okay, this is what the loop, continuous loop, and you get the port steam. Then we create the object of the Lancaster steamer class, and similarly we use the dot stream on the word, and we'll get the the word after the Lancaster steamer. And then we go for the lemmatization by creating first object of the wordnet lematizer class, and the same line of code will add just replace the dot stream. Instead of that I'm adding over here lematize and word for word in filtered word. So this is for the tokenization, specifically word tokenization. This code is for the stop word removal. This code is for the porter steaming. Okay, that is for the porter steamer. Yes, this is for the Lancaster steamer, and this is for the lematizer. Okay, and finally we return all these things, your actual text. Okay, your text after removing the punctuation, your text after removing the number. Okay, your words, that is the tokenized word. Then filter underscore word means that is the after removing the stop word from the text we print it. Then porter steam, port steam means after doing the porter steamer what output we get. Lancaster steamer stemming, then the lemmatized word. Okay, so this what we return, this functions return these things. Now this functions return this thing, and then we pass so I'm just copying this line, Control X. First I'm executing this function. Okay, so I'm executing this function by pressing Shift Enter, and let me just add this. Okay, so now I'm just calling this function pre-process function. Okay, the function I have created, you just need to pass the file, whichever the file that you want, you just pass the name of the file over here, and that file must be present in your root directory. Okay, that file should be present in your root directory. So this is what we have, and we get it returns all the values: actual text, text after removing the punctuations, text after removing the number, your tokenized words, then stop word removal words, means after removing the stop word, your text, and the Porter streamer, Lancaster streamer, lemmatized word. And let me execute it. Successfully executed. Now one by one I will show you actual text. Okay, so actual text, this is what your actual text. Next, text after removing the punctuation, I'm showing you. Now you'll get the text after removing the punctuation. Then text after removing the number. Then your filtered word. Filtered word means the actual words after removing the stop words. So we will not get any stop word present over here, okay, in the filtered word. Then Porter streaming. Okay, so this is what the words that you get after applying the Porter streamer, Lancaster streamer, and the lemmatization. Okay, so this is what one case study. Okay, now one small part is there. Just like I have just opened the file that is present on my system, you can take the file from the web also and do the same kind of things by extracting the web by extracting the text from the web. So to extract the text from the web, we use the URL open class, which is present in the URL lib.request. Okay, and let's suppose I want to just open this one. Okay, this is what the file. This is one file that is present. Okay, I just want to pre-process or want to do some processing on this file. Okay, so you can just use this code, that is by using the URL open. By using URL open, we just pass this URL into the URL open function and .read. Okay, and you will get the raw data. Okay, so raw data, whatever the raw data that we get, we need to decode it. Okay, so this line is needed, bytes.decode and the raw, and after that we'll print the raw one. So whatever we have onto the web file. Okay, so this is what the web file, that is 31.txt, which is presented on this URL. I read it. So after that, you can apply these steps, pre-processing steps on this file. Okay, so this is what the problem that is the case study that is related with the NLTK. Okay, so we have completed this NLTK now. Now our next part is
Nitin, can I stop you right now for a while?
okay, sir.
See, right now, like when we are doing this kind of text mining, we are talking about polarity and subjectivity, so that we can make out some sense about that particular article. If this article is related to, like, if this article talking about this particular subjectivity, like through word cloud, can we have that word cloud of whatever you have done? Like we are able to calculate the frequency of each keyword. But now we
Yes.
want to see that application, how like we can find out the subjectivity, and further with the help of polarity, how we can have sentiment analysis. Is
Right,
it
sir.
possible?
Actually, it's a totally big area. NLP itself is one area, like a machine learning. So here we have
Okay.
part of speech tagging. Okay, then we have the different feature extraction techniques like a bag of word or the count vectorizer, TF-IDF, word to vec, through which we can extract the features from the text file. And then
See,
after
right
we'll
now
go.
we are having the frequency of each keyword. So based upon
Yes.
that, we can find out the
Yeah, and
subjectivity
for
of
the
that particular article.
for calculating the frequency also, we have the different classes are there. Like freq dist is one class that is present in the NLTK library.
Okay.
But that part is not possible for me to cover. I covered lot many things while explaining the
Okay,
NLTK
okay,
itself.
okay. Thank
Okay.
you, thank you. So let's go for next topic. Yeah, thank you, Rajat.
Okay. And we have a limited time, and we want to complete this CNN also. And also, as a part of tomorrow's session, I will show you two case study. I'm planning right now to show you two cases, case studies. One is the spam classification. This is one project. Okay, spam classification. You heard about this project, like the email is spam or not spam, kind of this thing. You have the bunch of text. Okay, and from the bunch of text, we do some pre-processing. We analyze some feature extraction. It is not possible for me even for this spam classification project also, because in our tomorrow's part I'm clearly discussing the project based case studies. Okay, that is project based case study. And for the project based case study, you'll get lot many things, like the terminologies that I have used, like TF-IDF or count vectorizer. Okay, the feature extractions method, so you will get that part also. Okay, in spam classification. And also that is text summarization, automatic text summarization. So this is what my planning for the tomorrow's class. Okay, and during this I will try to cover that the part feature extraction. Somehow it is not possible for me to cover it into the 1 hour. Okay, because this method needs lot many times, that feature extractions method. Okay, now let's start without wasting time. Let's start with our deep learning model, that is that is CNN. And the ANN has already been completed, na, Amit sir?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It was
Okay.
done yesterday only. Yeah,
Okay.
by Dr.
So,
Kasana.
okay, sir. So let's just start with the CNN model. So CNN is a deep learning model. Okay. And you know that deep learning model means what? Deep learning model means it is nothing but the artificial neural network with a lot many hidden layer, right? You know the structure of artificial neural network. So in artificial neural network, what we have, you have the input layer. Okay. So input layer you have. So input layer, you have the number of nodes. Okay. And the lot many hidden layer. Okay. Whenever the word like this, lot many hidden, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here I'm considering the 3 hidden layer. Okay, and the final one is the output layer. Okay, so this is the input layer. Okay, these are the hidden layer, and the final one is your output layer. Okay, and these are the nodes, and every nodes are attached with every other nodes. Okay, like I'm just showing you one node which is attached with the other node. So likewise, every node is attached with the other node that is present in the other layer. Okay, so this is what the neural network. And in CNN also we use this kind of concept. So in CNN also we have this kind of structure: input layer, hidden layer, and the output layer. But only in case of CNN, in case of hidden layer, we have some different layers that we use, like convoluted layer, okay, pooling layer, flattened layer. That concept we will use. Okay, so this is what the structure of your artificial neural network. And whichever the model, whichever, you can take any model, whether it is CNN, ANN, perceptron, multi-layer perceptron, your RNN, autoencoder, or whichever the model, combinational model. So that model can be implemented with the artificial neural network. Okay, so that's why this part is also very, very important, artificial neural network. Those who know the, they will get the more means that part creates more interest. Okay, like weight, like your activations function, because lot many terminologies are there. It is not possible to cover in a single day or single 2 hours, because the artificial neural network itself a broad domain. So in this, some basic terminologies like node, okay, then your activation function, different types of activations functions are there, like linear activation function, sigmoid activation function, then your the rectilinear unit activation function that we called as the ReLU activation function and softmax activation function. So at every node we have these activation functions, okay, in the artificial neural network. And when we use the word artificial neural network, that get used in the every deep learning model. So in every deep learning model you have this keyword, that is the key aspect, like a activation function, use of the activation function. Those who know the things, the mostly when the binary classification problem is there, that time we use the sigmoid activation function while adding the layer, okay, in the output layer, right? And when your classification is a multi-class classification problem, then we use the softmax activation function, okay. And apart from this, in case of the hidden layer, okay, in case of the hidden layer and the input layer, we use the ReLU activation function. Means this is what those who don't know about the mathematics, let's suppose those who don't know how to choose the activation function in which layer, because in each layer we need to add the activation function, okay. So those who don't know, they are layman to this deep learning. So for them, this is having one trick that I'm just giving you. In output layer, we use sigmoid and softmax activation function. Once again, I'm repeating, in output layer, we use sigmoid oblique softmax. Okay, when we use the sigmoid, when your classification problem is a binary classification. Whereas when we use the softmax function, if the problem is multi-class classification problem, okay. And at the remaining layer, whether it is input and the hidden layer, then specifically we use the ReLU activation function, okay. So these functions is also having deep mathematics, okay. Like sigmoid, we already discussed, I think. Sigmoid means that is that you have that we have discussed in the logistic regression. How it looks, it's a S-shaped curve, okay. Specifically S-shaped curve, it is sigmoid curve, and it is useful for the binary classification problem. This is your 0.5, this is your threshold value, okay. It is always in between 0 to 1. So the whenever you'll get the value like 0.3, if you get the 0.3 as output, then that will be considered as category 0, okay. And if we are having the value 0.6, means above 0.5, that will be considered as a 1, okay. So this is what the sigmoid activation function. Likewise, we have a different graphs associated with the different activation function, okay. Also, this is what some basic I have covered related with the artificial neural network. Now let's start with the CNN. CNN is a deep learning model, and you know the deep learning model is implemented with the help of artificial neural network. Now, it also consists an input and output layer as well as the multiple hidden layer, right? So as it is a deep learning model, it consists input layer, output layer, and the multiple hidden layer. Multiple hidden layer means that is the deep neural network. So, and specifically the CNN will use lot many case in case of the image classifications. Okay, lot many times we use the image classification, but you may use it for the text classification also, okay. It's not like that, but normally we prefer to use. As I'm discussing the image related case studies over here, so that's why I'm talking it in terms of the image, okay. So computer sees image as an array of pixel and depend on the resolution of the image. So specifically, whatever the image that we have, the computer convert the image into the one array, okay. That is two-dimensional array, or I can say the matrix. And in the matrix, you will get the pixel value or intensity value. In CNN, each input image will pass through the sequence of convolution layer. Now, observe this word, sequence of convolution layer, along with pooling layer, along with the flattening layer. Okay, so these are the layers that we are going to discuss in the CNN: convolution layer, pooling layer, and the flattening layer. And finally, we use the fully connected layer. Okay, so these are the 4 layers that we'll thoroughly discuss. Our case study is specifically to classify the dog and cat. Okay, so it's a data set in which we are having the dog images and the cat images. Now let's start. So what is digital image? Okay, so digital image, it is defined as a two-dimensional function f of xy, where x and y are the spatial coordinate, and the amplitude of f at any pair of coordinate x, y, it is called as the intensity. So already I told you, whatever the image that we have, it is represented in the form of matrix. Okay, and that particular coordinate, let's suppose I will take this one. Okay, f of 0, 0. Okay, so 0, 0, this small point, I'm just considering this small area. Okay, small point, this is having the coordinate like, let's suppose f of 0, 0. Okay, so you will get the intensity over here for that particular value. So intensity value for the black color, it should be 0. Okay, so likewise we'll have the different intensities when we travel the image. Okay, so you will get the matrix, two-dimensional matrix with the intensities of that image at that particular point. Now, in simple word, an image can be defined by the two-dimensional array and specifically arranged in the rows and column. This is what the simple digital image. Next one is the type of the image. So there are basically three types of image I'm discussing over here. Binary image, okay, that contain 0 and 1 format, and I'm having the example to explain the convolution layer that is specifically on the binary image, okay, that I'm discussing. Mathematical example I'm talking, okay. But as far as the implementation concerned, we'll use the grayscale image and also we use the color image also. Okay, so binary image means, as the name suggests, it only contains the 2 pixel element, 0 and 1. 0 refer to the black and 1 refer to the white. Then 8-bit color format. 8-bit color format means it's one of the image famous image format which contain the 256 different shade. How it get 256? Because we have the 8-bit. Okay, every pixel is represented by 8-bit. 8-bit means what? So there are how many combination it get? 2 raised to the power 8 combination will be formed. So we have the 256 different shade. Okay, you know this mathematics, I hope. Okay, let's suppose I have 8 bits. So for the 8-bit pixel, to represent the pixel, we have the 256 different shade. Okay, that is start from the 0 to the 255. 0 means black, okay, and 255 means white, okay, and 127 stand for the gray. Now 16-bit color format, so it is a color image format, okay, and it is having the 65536 different format. Okay, how it is 65536? Because we have a 16-bit for each pixel. Okay, for each pixel we have 16 bits. So how many combination that get formed? 2 raised to the power 16, and 2 raised to the power 16 means 65536. Okay, and generally we have these three components, red, green and blue, and this is called the RGB image. Okay, so this is what some basic about the image. Now let's start with the CNN model, steps to design the CNN model. So this part we will discuss thoroughly. So first part of the CNN model is the convolution layer. We add the convolution layer, we use the convolution layer, then we do the max pooling, then we use the flattening, and finally we'll do the full connection. Okay, let's start the convolution. Okay, so first layer, convolution layer is the first layer to extract the feature from an input image. Okay, so by default you don't need to apply other technique to extract the feature. Convolution layer itself extract the feature from the input layer, and by learning the image feature using a small square of input data, the convolution layer preserve the relationship between the pixel. Okay, and convolution is nothing but it is a mathematical operation which takes two input, one image matrix, okay, actual image, and second one is the kernel. Okay, so kernel is somehow, it is in image processing we use the word filter. Okay, so kind of filter we use. Okay, so let me just explain you the convolution, how it works. Let's suppose we have the images, multiple images we have. The image is having the dimensions like, this is what the height of the image and this is the width of the image, and these are the images, means the depth, I can say number of multiple images are there. Okay, so this is your actual image on which you want to apply the convolution. Okay, to extract the feature, because in convolution layer you will get the convoluted feature. Okay, now this is what your filter. So internally your CNN model select the different types of filter to extract the different types of feature. Okay, so in case of image we have the lot many feature like contrast, brightness, zooming, or texture. So lot many features are there. Age, specifically age we want. Okay, so lot many features are there, and accordingly that we are having the different features filters. Now next, this is the size of the your image, and FW and FN. Okay, FW is the size of the filter. Okay, this is the width of the filter, and this is height of the filter. Okay, now the output image that I am getting over here, this is what the convoluted feature which I am getting over here. It is having the dimension W minus FW plus 1. Okay, this is your W minus FW plus 1. Okay, similarly H minus FH plus 1. Okay, so the dimension of the image matrix is H cross W cross D. Dimension of the filter you have FH cross FW cross D. Dimension of the output that we get H minus FH plus 1, W minus FW plus 1. Okay, so this is what the dimension of the output. Now just take one example to explain this. Let's start with the consideration as a 5 by 5 image whose pixel value are 0, 1, and the filter matrix is 3 by 3. Okay, so here as per this example, what we have taken the 5 by 5 images. Okay, so 5 by 5 images means what? 5 rows and 5 columns. Okay, this is what the 5 by 5 image. Okay, 5 rows and 5 columns. This is your image matrix. Okay, and this is your filter matrix. Okay, filter matrix is of size 3 by 3. Now after doing the convolution, okay, what we get? We get this matrix. Okay, after doing the convolution, we get this convoluted feature. Okay, we get this convoluted feature. Now observe the size of the convoluted feature over here as per the formula. This is what our formula. This is 5 by 5. This is 3 by 3. Okay, what is the formula? 5 minus 3 plus 1. Okay, 5 minus 3 plus 1 means that is 5 minus 3, that is 2, plus 1 means 3. Similarly, comma 5 minus again 3 we have. 5 minus 3 plus 1. So we get 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, convoluted feature that we get, it is of 3 by 3. Now, how we get these numbers? Okay, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so for that, I'm having this case study. Observe carefully. Okay, how we get this feature map. Okay, you need to observe carefully how we get this thing. Okay, this 4 value, this 2 value after doing the convolution. This is the sign of convolution. Okay, now observe here, this is my filter or the kernel, which is of size 3 by 3. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 by 7 matrix. Okay, this is your input image, and we'll get this feature map. Okay, now how it is? So convolution means what? First, it contain, just start with this blocks. Okay, and do the convolution with this first block. And we need to observe the number of ones. Okay, common ones. Oh, observe here. Is there any common one over here? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, no common. 0, here there is 0, and here there is 1. No common. So as far as this part is concerned, no common is here. Okay, so that's why we get 0 over here. Okay, now next we shift. Now next we shift to the this matrix. Okay, you need to observe carefully. Okay, now once again 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, 0, 1. No common. Now here in case of this, there is one common over here. Okay, observe this one and this one. Okay, one common is there, so I'm writing here 1 over here. Okay, so likewise you have to proceed for the others. Okay, likewise you have to proceed it for other. Now I will take the example of 4. Okay, how this 4 comes over here. Okay, so we first need to analyze which block it is exactly. Okay, so as far as this block, this let me just analyze. This is your second, the third one. Okay, this is the fourth one. Now I'm using this block. Okay, let me add it with this. Okay, convoluted with this. Now check here, as far as this block is concerned, 0 0, no common, 0 0. Now here there is 1 and here also there is 1. Okay, so 1 1 is there. Next, here also 1, so there are 2 ones. Then as far as this last one is concerned, there are 2 ones, so total 4 ones are there. Okay, so that's why we are getting the 4 over here. I hope it is clear to everyone. Somehow it is complicated, but those who observed it carefully, they will get it. How many of you get it in the single attempt? Raise the hand. Okay, I think मैक्सिमम लोगों को आ गया समझ में. ठीक है, अगर जिनको नहीं आया है तो एक बार फिर से वीडियो आपने देख लेना है. Now this is what we get the feature map. Now observe here, your feature means your initial matrix is of size 7 by 7. Okay, when we travel through each and every layer in the convolution neural network, so the dimension of the image get reduced. Okay, dimension of the image get reduced, and as we know that dimension is very important, because as far as the deep learning we need lot many images. Okay, and if the dimension of the image is very high, then it will takes lot much time, even it takes 1 week. Okay, even it takes 1 month if we do not go with this kind of dimension. Okay, so observe here, this 7 by 7 image, when we convoluted with the 3 feature 3 by 3 filters, the input, the output that we get, output convoluted feature that we get is having the size 7 minus 3 plus 1. Okay, and 7 minus 3 plus 1. Okay, so what size we get? 7 minus 3, that is the 4, and 4 plus 1, that is 5. So 5 by 5 matrix we get. So this is what the matrix that we get. Okay, so this is your convoluted feature map. So different feature maps we get. Okay, so as far as the input image, we have the images, so we'll get different images. We'll get the different feature maps according to the different kind of filters, with the use of different kind of filters. The next layer that we have, it is a max pooling layer. The pooling layer plays an important role in the pre-processing of an image. Okay, and it pooling layer reduces the number of parameters when the images are too large. Again, max pooling layer also do the same kind of things. Again, your image dimension get reduced. You know that as far as the max pooling, why there is a need of max pooling, let me just explain. You'll get this part. Okay, this part. Let's suppose it's a project related with the tiger prediction. Okay, you have the images that is related with the tiger, but along with the tiger you will get the unnecessary data also. Like this is your unnecessary data. Okay, this is your unnecessary data. Okay, this is what your unnecessary data. Okay, we are only interested in what? We are only interested in the tiger and tiger identification. Means what? I just want this particular area. I'm not interested in the remaining area. Okay, so kind of that thing can be done with the help of the max pooling. Right. Now, pooling layer has an important role in the pre-processing, reduce the number of parameters when the images are too large, and it reduces the dimensionality without losing the important feature or the pattern. And the main objective is to downscale an input representation and reducing its dimensionality. Okay, so this is what particular focus that we want. Okay, the particular tiger, right? So this is what we have. And also, as far as the image data set is concerned, observe that a lot many times you will get the image, like if we consider the tiger related data set, sometime your tiger is in a standing mode, sometime he is in a sleeping mode, sometime he is in a sitting mode. Okay, it is in left side or right side, but at the end it is a tiger. Okay, so you'll get different poses of the tiger in the images in as a part of data set. You'll get different images. So our model should be capable to predict each and every tiger, whether it is a sitting tiger, sleeping tiger, right-handed headed sider, left-hand headed sider, whoever is the tiger, that can be predicted with our model. Now, as far as the map pooling mathematics is concerned, again, the matrix that we have here, the max pooling is done by applying the max filter. Okay, so we have the two types of filter in signal processing, max filter and the mean filter. So as a part of max pooling, name itself indicates, so we use the max filter, right? So here, this is the input images. Okay, input image, let's suppose, and when we apply the max pooling over here, okay, when we apply the max pooling over here, we'll get some output. Okay, that downscaled output. So let me just show you. Now observe here. As far as our image is concerned, our image is of 5x5 size. Okay, after convoluted feature map. Okay, after convolution layer, the same images are transferred to the max pooling layer. Okay, so 5x5 images, and we'll consider this 2x2 block. Okay, on which we apply the max pooling. So max pooling specifically acts the maximum number from this. So maximum number from this is 1. Okay, so in last class also we have the example. There we have there I just want to explain you this max pooling. So there what we have, as far as this dummy example is concerned, this is one block. Okay, so from this block what I'm getting, the maximum is 20. As far as this block, the maximum is 30. As far as this block, the maximum is 112. As far as this block, the maximum is 37. It's not 372, it's 37. Okay, so this is what the max pooling. Now similarly, I'm applying this same thing on our convoluted feature map image, 5x5 image, and just you please go with this feature map, and after doing the pool feature, getting the pool feature map. Getting it? Is it clear? Max pooling layer? Raise the hand those who understand the max pooling layer, so that I get to know about. Kalpana, Sagar, Vikas, Yogita. Yes, understanding. Okay. Now, so we'll get the multiple pool feature. Okay, so this is what my input image. You will get the multiple convoluted feature, and on that we apply the pooling layer. Okay, and you will get the number of pooled feature. Okay, so these two steps over. Okay, convoluted layer and pooling layer. Now next layer is the flattening layer. So flattening layer basically transform a two-dimensional matrix of the feature into the vector. Okay, so whatever the value that we are having in the matrix, okay, that get flattened. Meaning itself indicates. Very simple concept it is. Flattening means this particular matrix that we get after the pooled feature map. Okay, this is what my pooled feature map. Okay, pooled feature map. Now, as a part of flattening layer, what is the role of flattening layer? Just convert this matrix into the vector. Okay, we convert this matrix into the vector, and that vector become your node. Okay, in future that vector become your one node. जब भी हम नोड बात करते हैं ना कि हाँ नोड है आर्टिफिशियल न्यूरल नेटवर्क में ANN में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट नोड्स है, तो ये नोड मतलब क्या है? ये एग्जैक्टली वेक्टर्स है। तो ये एक पूल फीचर मैप है, इसका एक नोड बन जाएगा, राइट? So flattening layer transform the two-dimensional matrix of the feature into the vector that can fade into a fully connected neural network classifier. Okay, I hope this is clear. 110.421.021. Clear this part, flattening layer? Raise the hand. Those who understand the flattening layer. Okay. Now, so after the pooling layer, you'll get the flattening. So flattening layer basically convert. This is your one pool feature that get converted into the vector form. Okay, vector form. Let's suppose you have 3x3 images. Okay, so your vector is having the dimension of 9. Okay, 9 values should be there. So these are the input layer of your future ANN. Okay, this is what the input layer of artificial neural network. Okay, input layer of your future ANN जो हम propose करने वाले हैं. Now, next, मैं बार बार बता रहा हूँ आपको कि हम ANN वर्ड यूज क्यों कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि कौन सा भी डीप लर्निंग मॉडल रहो, that we can implement with the help of ANN. Okay, now, so this is what the flattening layer, completion with the flattening layer. So here I am having the 3 layer now: convolution layer, pooling layer, and the flattening layer. Okay, this is my input image. Now 3 layers completed. And what is my next task? Next task is to compile all these things. Okay, so that is called as the fully connected layer. Okay, fully connected layer. Now we'll go for the fully connected layer. So as a part of full connection, so we just assign all this, we just connect all this. Okay, so in fully connected layer and the output layer. Okay, so this is what the full connection, so that each and every node is connected with each other node after the flattening. Okay, after flattening, this is after flattening we'll do this thing. Now, as a part of full connection, if we supply the dog image, okay, as a part of this, when we supply the dog image, we just analyze this. Okay, that is the probability of dog being classified. Okay, so the when we supply the dog, it just travel through this network. Okay, having the 1 1 0.1. So observe this node and this plays an important role. Okay, these features playing an important role. Okay, this feature 1 2 3. Okay, and that 3 features telling us the dog is having the 0.95% chance that get classified. Okay, means 95% probability plus, whereas cat is having the 5. Okay, so this is what we have. Likewise for the cat, the same thing. And this is what overall summarization of the convolution neural network. Input image, okay, then convolution layer, then pooling layer, okay, and then the flattening layer. And this is what your fully connected layer. And the same thing, whatever I'm discussing now, the same thing will do it into the implementation also. Nothing, no change at all, no change at all. Okay, we add the convolution layer, we add pooling layer, we add the flattening layer, and then we'll do the compilation of this model. Okay, that is called as the fully connected layer. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, this is what the theory part. Okay, I tried each and every aspect of the CNN from it. Okay, any problems so far? As far as the theory is concerned, after the break, we'll discuss the implementation. Okay, so implementation also we are having these steps. Yes. Any problem so far? Is it clear to everyone? Raise the hand, those who understand all the things. Okay. So let's take the break of 15 minutes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Hello, Amit sir.
Anything?
Yes, sir. I'm starting.
Please, sir.
Okay.
Please, sir. We can go till 7 o'clock. No, sir.
Okay, okay. So implementation steps. Now we are discussing the implementation steps. So as a part of implementation, we will use the Keras library, okay, which works in the back end of the TensorFlow library. Okay, so as a part of still now we have discussed the sklearn, NumPy, okay, NLTK, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Okay, right now for the deep learning, we'll implement the code with the help of the Keras library. Okay, and along with that, we need to import the TensorFlow library also. Okay, so importing the library, this is the first step as part of the implementation. Then we initialize the CNN via ANN. Okay, so we create one class that is the object of sequential class. Okay, that specifically create one rough artificial neural network. That sequential class we can use it for each and every model. Okay, in case of the deep learning. Then we add the convolution layer by using the dot add method. Okay, then we add the pooling layer. Then we'll add the flattening layer, whichever we have discussed earlier as a part of theory part of the CNN, and then do the full connection. After that, we'll go for the compilation of the CNN, and then we feed the CNN to the images. Okay, we CNN to the images, and at last we'll do some prediction. Okay, so this is what the steps that we need to follow. Now, as far as the execution is concerned, there are two ways. One way you can directly use your Honda, but 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 you cannot use it directly on route. Okay, you cannot use it directly onto your base route. I'm explaining you, this is what my base route. Okay, we need to add virtual environment to execute the deep learning related code. Okay, so first, what is the need of that virtual environment? Okay, many of you know about that thing. I hope that as its core, the main purpose of the virtual environment is to create the isolated environment for the different types of projects, right? We know that different projects is needed some different kind of, they are having the different dependency, they need some different library which are having the different version, right? Let's suppose I'm taking one example. For some example, I need sklearn, which is having the version 1. Okay, but let's suppose you are working on the previous project, okay, starting it from the 2016. So that time we have the your own dependency. Okay, so to handle this kind of thing, we use this virtual environment. And as a part of the deep learning, when we install the Keras and the TensorFlow, it will create some problem. It will create some confusion with some libraries associated with your root environment. Okay, root environment, that is your base environment. So that's why we need to create the virtual environment. In one what I can say, one document there, okay, in which, where is TensorFlow? Yeah, TensorFlows and Keras. Okay, that is installation. Okay, so जैसे ही आपका खत्म होगा, जब मैं पीपीटी आपको सेंड करूंगा, दैट टाइम आई विल सेंड this how to create the virtual environment and how to install the Keras and the TensorFlow on your virtual environment. Okay, you just needs to follow these steps. Okay, with virtual environment, Conda, create edge. So these many steps you need to follow and you can create the virtual environment. Okay, as far as my system is concerned, I'm having the 3 environment. Okay, observe here which 3 environments are there. One is base root environment. Okay, this is by default. After that, I have created 2 environment. One is py35 and second one is the tf underscore gpu. So I'm using for this particular code, as far as the CNN, I'm using the py35 environment in which I'm having the Keras and TensorFlow without GPU. Okay, and the one more environment that I'm having in my system, that is the tf underscore gpu, means that is specifically this is for the GPU purpose, means if you need to work on the high-end project or the some, what I can say, some on large data set. Okay, so that time you need the GPU, strong GPU, high-end GPU to execute this model. Okay, so this is one way that's what I'm explaining, that is use of the virtual environment. Okay, now I need to select the virtual environment, so I'm selecting the py35 as a virtual environment in which I'm going to execute my code. Okay, so this is what the virtual environment. Now second option is to use the Google Colab. Okay, Google, same as that like of the Jupyter notebook, and there you know no need to install any package, no need to install any libraries, and you can execute the code directly. Okay, you can execute the code related with the deep learning, machine learning, whichever you want. Okay, so I will just quickly show you how to use the Google Colab. Okay, so you need to type the Google Colab. Okay, and just open the first one, that is Google Colab. Okay, and when we open it, you just need to log in with your normal email ID. Right now I'm having the my main login ID with me, that is your normal Gmail ID. Okay, so you just need to use your normal Gmail ID to log in with the Google Colab. It get directly associated with the Gmail and along with the Drive also. Okay, so you can use the data set that is present in your Drive. Okay, let's suppose you are having the image related data, upload it into your Drive, and then mount that Google Drive into your Jupyter notebook. Okay, so quickly I will show you this. Just you need to click on the new notebook. Okay, when we open the new notebook, you will get the same screen as like that of the Jupyter notebook. Okay, so this is what the screen we get when we use the Google Colab. Okay, this is what the structure of the Google Colab. You will have the lot many option over here, like you will get the high-end GPU from this. Okay, very interesting stuff it is. You can change the runtime. Okay, so as a part of runtime, you can change the hardware like GPU. Okay, nowadays GPU से भी ज़्यादा एक high computing आया है, that is called as the TPU. So you can use the TPU also. But right now we prefer to use the GPU if you work on the high-end project. That time you can select this option. Okay, so there are so many options, but it's a simple one as like that of the your, what I can say, your Jupyter notebook. Okay, right here command like import. Okay, pandas as PD. Okay, simple. You'll get each and every library like import Keras. Okay, import TensorFlow. Right, so this is what you get. and you can execute all the code which we have discussed with you. Okay, जो अभी तक जितनी भी चीजें मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस करी है, ये सारी चीजें आप यहाँ पे एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हो। ठीक है, तो ये मैंने दूसरा ऑप्शन दिया है आपको। जिनके पास हाई एंड सिस्टम नहीं है, जिनके पास अच्छा जीपीयू नहीं है, जिनके पास ज्यादा रैम नहीं है, तो आप ये यूज कर सकते हो। ठीक है, गूगल कोलैब। ठीक है, I hope it is clear to use the Google Colab. But right now, as far as my example is concerned, I'm having the strong GPU, so I'm directly going with this new environment, PY35 environment, in which I'm having the Keras library and the TensorFlow library. Okay, so this is your Google Colab. Do we have to install PY35? PY35 is the virtual environment. That's what I have explained. अभी तक मैंने यही चीज बताई, वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट PY35 ये मैंने नाम दिया है। ठीक है, एक वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट जब मैंने एक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करा है, जैसे कोंडा क्रिएट, ये कमांड है कोंडा क्रिएट डैश एंड एनवायरमेंट नेम, तो यहाँ पे मैंने PY35 लिया, आप कुछ भी नाम ले सकते हो। ठीक है, एनवायरमेंट क्रिएट होने के बाद उसके अंदर मैंने एक बार एनवायरमेंट क्रिएट हो गया मेरा, और उस पर्टिकुलर एनवायरमेंट में जाके मैंने केरास और टेंसरफ्लो इंस्टॉलेशन करा। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ये अगर आप स्टेप्स फॉलो करोगे तो आपको सारी चीजें पता लग जाएगी। ये मैं जो मेरी जो PDF है ये मैं आपको सेंड करूंगा आफ्टर द क्लास। Now, this is Google Colab. I'm closing this. ये भी क्लोज कर देता हूं, एक मिनट। अभी ये कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए ये भी क्लोज कर रहा हूं मैं। PY35 ओपन कर। I'm opening the Jupyter notebook in PY35 virtual environment, in which I'm having the Keras and TensorFlow. Okay, so this is what the same structure I will get. Okay, but only thing is that my virtual environment is different. Okay, it's not your root environment, it is your virtual environment, new virtual environment. Okay, so let's start with the CNN hands-on ML 45. Now the first part is to import the library. Okay, to save the time, I'm just using this code, copy and pasting kind of thing, so that we can complete it in the time. Now within time we can complete it. So the first part, we import the library. So let me just copy this TensorFlow and Keras and paste it over here. Right, it will take some time. Yes, completed. Now let me just show you the data set that I'm having. This is what the data set that I'm having. Okay, cat versus dog data set it is, that get divided into the two part. Okay, the data set specifically contain testing set and the training set. Okay, testing is for the evaluation purpose, whatever the model that we are going to train, that should be evaluated on the testing data set. Okay, so both the data set contain the cat and dog images. Okay, so we have the separate folder, the cat folder and the dog folder. In the cat folder you having the images. Okay, different cat images we are having. Okay, so in the so there are, I think, as a part of cat we have the 4000 images, okay, in the cat, and same is in the case of the dog also. Same in the case of dog also, we have the 4000 images. Okay, so as far as the training data set is concerned, we have the 8000 images. Already I told you, deep learning model needs a lot much data. Okay, whenever you want to create the deep learning model, then that time you need lot much data. Okay, so this is what your training data set, and as a part of testing data set, we have the remaining 4000 to 5000, 1000 images into the testing data set. Okay, 1000 in cat and 1000 in the dog data set, a dog folder, sorry. Right, so there are total how many 4 plus 4, 8 and 10,000 images in your data set. Okay, so this is what my data set, and we need to do the classification. Okay, now let's start. So first step is to initializing the CNN via ANN. Means first we create the ANN model. Okay, so by using the sequential class, we first import the sequential class and we create the object of that class. Okay, initializing the CNN via ANN. Simple line, from keras.model, we import sequential class, then we create the object of this class. Okay, sequential, and your ANN model is initialized. Okay, ANN model is initialized roughly. Initialize means what? This is what your ANN. Okay, now we will add different layer. To create the convolution layer, we add the different layer. Okay, so it is same process for every deep learning model. We create first of all sequence, we first create the ANN model. Okay, and then we'll add the layer accordingly. Like if it is a convolution neural network, then we add the convolution layer, then your pooling layer. Okay, input layer means input layer, convolution layer, then your pooling layer, and then flattening layer, and the output layer. Okay, so this is what when we use the CNN, and similarly for the RNN also we use the different layers. So this is the way to create the CNN, initialize your CNN via ANN. Now next step is to add the convolution layer. So step 1, that I am adding the convolution layer by using the convo2D class. So we use the convolution 2D class, conv2D, conv2D, which is present in the keras.layer. Okay, from keras.layer we import convolution 2D, and by using the dot add method. Okay, so this is what my classifier. Okay, so this is what my rough ANN. Okay, so in which I'm going to add this layer. Okay, in which I'm going to add this convoluted layer as an input layer. Okay, so by using this dot add method, this is your classifier. Okay, this is your classifier ANN, and I'm adding the convolution layer as an input layer. Okay, with ReLU activation function, which I have already explained to you. Okay, as a start I have explained. Only in case of output layer, those who are layman to this activation function, because I already told you activation function is a big part, but still I have given one very important key tricks to handle this thing. Okay, as a part of output layer, we use softmax, either softmax or the sigmoid function. If it is a binary classification, then we go for the sigmoid. If it is a multi-class classification, then we go for the softmax function, and for the remaining layer we use the ReLU as activation function. Okay, so this is what my ReLU as activation function. Input shape, I am considering the size of image as 64 by 64. Okay, and we are considering the color image over here. Okay, so 64 by 64, this is the size of the image. Okay, this is 3 by 3. 3 by 3 means it's the filter size. Okay, that I have explained to you. the image with the filter, and then you will get the convoluted feature. And the 32 is the number of neuron over here. Okay, so let me just add this. Successfully executed convolution layer is added into your ANN. Now next we go for pooling layer. So as a part of pooling layer, so for pooling layer, what we need to import? We need to import the max pooling 2D, which is present in again keras.layer, and same method we will use classifier.add max pooling 2D. Pooling size that I am considering is here 2 by 2. Like same size I have explained to you when I take the example. Okay, 2 by 2 pooling size, max pooling it is. Okay, so let me execute this one. Okay, so this is what the pooling layer that I have added. The next step, that is adding the second convolution layer. Okay, so adding the second convolution layer means what? This is for the as many as hidden layer. Okay, you can add second, third, fourth, as many as hidden layer. Okay, so this is the kind of hidden layer. So you can just ignore it. Okay, and directly you can go for the flattening layer also. But as far as the accuracy concern is here, okay, I know when I add the second layer, I will get the good accuracy. So that's why I'm adding this layer also. So adding the second convolution layer with convolution 2D and the max pooling layers. Okay, so this is what the hidden layer. Once again, I will explain. Okay, so this is what your convolution layer, this is pooling layer, and again I'm adding this layer. Okay, same layer I'm adding over here again to make it as deep as that. Okay, so you can add as many as according to your need. Okay, according to your accuracy, because at the end you want good accuracy of your model. Now, so the second convolution layer is added. Now observe here, as far as the pooling layer is concerned, you don't need to add the input shape and the what I can say the neuron. Okay, so directly we can add the 2 by 2 that is the pooling size, like pooling filter of 2 by C dimension. Okay, but in the case of when we add the convolution layer and the along with the pooling along with the max pooling, you need to add this 32. Okay, so 32 as my node size. Okay, but the input shape is not needed. Okay, so as a part of first layer, we just add the input shape. So let me execute this one. Now next, flattening layer. So in case of the flattening, again, flattening means just convert your two-dimensional matrix into the vector form by using the dot add in bracket flatten. Okay, so this is what the flattening layer we have. After that, we'll go for the full connection, which is my step 4. Okay, so first, so now, so full connection. So in that, I'm just using the dance method. Okay, so like you are in ANN also, I think you know this method, dance method. Okay, so this is the plain all the input layer that I'm adding over here to get the full connection by using the dance class. Okay, so we need dance class in which I'm passing the unit as a 128 node activation function again as a ReLU executing. Then finally, I will add the one more dense layer. Okay, finally I'm adding one more dense layer, and this is what my output layer. Now observe here, as far as the output layer is concerned, whenever the output layer comes, we have the two options. One is the sigmoid and second one is the softmax as activation. So as it is a binary class classification problem, binary class classification means there are two categories. So here, as far as my data set is concerned, we are having two categories. One is cat and another is dog. So let me just execute. Okay, if it is a multi-class classification, then we can add the softmax. Now, finally, we'll compile the CNN model by using the dot compile method and by adding the optimizer and the loss as a binary cross entropy and the matrix as a accuracy. Okay, so optimizer that I'm using here, Adam optimizer. Loss that I'm using is the binary cross entropy, as it is a binary class classification problem. If you want to use the multi-class classification, then you can use the categorical cross entropy. So let me just compile this. Okay, right? So this is what I'm having the model, compiling the model, and let me just show you the summary. Okay, so this is what my model summary, okay, in which I'm having this much layer. Okay, so this is what the model summary that we have. And finally, we'll feed the CNN to the images, whatever the model that we have created, we need to fit onto your model. Yeah, we need to fit it into your model. So for that, we use the data image data generator class, which is specifically for the data augmentation. So let me just copy this line. Okay, I'm using here image data generator class, which is present in the keras.preprocessing.image. And then we'll add the, then we'll do the, that augmentation on the training data set, okay, with some different parameters. Okay, as far as the training data set is concerned, we'll do the lot many things. Okay, we'll do the shearing range, we'll adding the zoom range, we'll add the horizontal flips. Okay, so this is what we are training. Okay, so as far as the training is concerned, we need lot many images. Okay, we need lot many images, and that images should be a kind of random images. Means what? Sometime when we give the input as a, let's suppose I will show you. Sometime it may happen that this image is like this. Okay, so this is what rotated 90-degree rotate. Okay, but at the end it is a cat. Okay, at the end it is a cat. Sometime you'll get the image like this. Okay, so the purpose of this data augmentation is that your model should be trained with each and every aspect of the image. Okay, so this is what the use of the image data generator class. So here we'll do the rescale, shear range, zoom range, and horizontal flip true. And at the case of the, as a case of, test data set, we only use the rescale. Rescale means what? Normalization. Okay, that part we already discussed, need of normalization. All thing is in one scale, mean all the values, okay, all the values that is in the one scale, that is every value it should be in between 0 to 1. Okay, so 1 divided by 255, it will create all the values into the one scale. So let me execute this. Successfully executed. Now next part. Next part is just to extract the data. Okay, so we'll extract the data from my folder. We need to add the path. So as per whatever the object that I have created, this is what my object train data generator. Okay, train data generator flow from the directory. So you need to add the path. So as far as my data set is concerned, this is the path. Okay, this is the path of my data set. D drive. Okay, so this is what my path. This is the path of my data set, which I have added over here. Okay, this is path, copy pasted path. Okay, and after that added the target size as 64 by 64. Okay, this is the target size, image target size that I am using 64 by 64. Input shape में भी हमने 64 by 64 ही लिया है. Batch size that I am considering here 32. Okay, then the class mode that I am using, that is the binary, as it is a binary class classification. So let me execute this one. Now system cannot find this one, so I need to change the path. Okay, so somehow I have changed this, so I'm adding this path. training set. We just need to export over here first. It will take some time to export. Okay, now I think it will get executed. Okay, data set. In the data set, we have one more data set. So I'm copying this one, Control X. Okay, delete this. So now let me execute. Yes, successfully executed now because that path is changed. Okay, due to which we are getting the error. Now observe here, we found the 8,000 images belong to the two classes, and we found the 2,000 images belong to the two classes. Means this is 2,000 belongs to your test data set, 8,000 belongs to your training data set. Now let me just execute your model using this classifier.fit. Okay, this is what the code to create, to fit the model, okay, onto the data set, onto the training data set. Okay, so classifier.fit underscore generator, in bracket we pass the training underscore set, step per epoch is 8,000. Okay, if we take the 8,000, then you will get the good result, but it will take lot much time. Okay, it may take one day also to execute. So let me just shorten this as 800. Okay, epoch is as 5. It will not get the accuracy, okay, when we use this kind of thing. And validation step as 200. Okay, so this is what your model training gets started. Okay, so it will take some time, and finally we'll get the accuracy in this column. Okay, so this is what your model, CNN model. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so during this ML course itself, I tried to cover as per your wish. I tried to cover this CNN model also. Amit sir,
Thank you, Nitin.
ये
And
हम
soon
प्ले
we'll,
करने वाले नहीं थे वैसे, लेकिन
yeah,
आपने जैसे कहा था कि पार्टिसिपेंट इंटरेस्टेड है डीप लर्निंग में,
yes,
तो मैंने
yes.
ये भी कवर कर दिया है. ठीक है.
Thank you very much, Nitin ji. And soon we'll have a workshop on deep learning, so that again, we wish that you will command over there.
Okay, sir.
As
Okay.
many of participants, they are asking us that, sir, can we have a workshop on machine learning, also deep learning?
Okay, sir.
So it is going to be very fruitful for us. So any question, participants, so far about this particular algorithm? Although Dr. Nathan explained so well, everything is so crystal clear.
Okay, sir. I think participant is having the test now, no?
The 6:58, 5 minutes
Oh.
more.
Okay.
The particular test will be available till 7:20. I'm just going to share within 4 minutes through chat box. So anybody who would like to ask any question to Mr. Nitin?
आज participants 119 है ना? Participants अब कम हो
It is
गए क्या?
double. It is double. Yesterday we had 70 for this time.
Okay.
It's a good symptom that. So you are so popular, Nitin ji.
Yes, sir.
Participants are demanding you that we should have more session from Nitin ji.
Okay, 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 sir.
So it's a compliment for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
See, right now it's 120.
Right now it's 120. वो मारियो नहीं है, अभी चला गया वो?
Let me see. No, he's going to join. He was telling me that he will attend. Yes, he's here. Mario, are you
Okay,
here?
yes. Mario is here. Ask
Hi.
him.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you getting the things? Whatever I have explained this CNN?
Okay.
Is
Yes.
it clear?
Uh,
Is it clear
uh,
to you, Mario?
well, I joined recently. I had to go out of the class, so I didn't see the full thing. So obviously, I will.
Yeah, that's
Re-
what it is needed. Basic part is always needed. If you join it into the middle, then you'll not get the things. Why we are adding this layer?
but I'm still at work, so I cannot be all the time active during the class. That's the problem. For me, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, so I'm still at work.
Okay.
Nathan, I'm having a question for you.
Okay, sir.
So how we can read the outcome of this kind of result? Like how we going to read it? How we going to interpret it? Yeah.
Interpret will get the accuracy at the end. Okay. So this is what the accuracy that I am getting is. When we add the epochs, we will get the accuracy. It will get increased. Yeah, I have trained this model with a lot much epochs, and I get to achieve the 95% accuracy. Okay, so it's depend on your system. It's
Mm-hmm.
depend on your GPU, so that you can add as many as epochs. Okay, as many, or also you can add the batch size. Okay, you can change the batch size also. These terminologies are also important. Okay, that terminologies, batch size, ये मैंने आज जैसे एक्सप्लेन नहीं करा है, बैच साइज, इपोचेस, बिकॉज इसको भी थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, लेकिन अभी आपको केस स्टडी डायरेक्टली बतानी थी, तो इसलिए मैंने ये कुछ छोटी छोटी जो चीजें है ना वो थोड़ा स्किप करी है। बैच साइज हो गया, जैसे कि आपका इपोचेस हो गया, लेकिन मुझे लगता है पता होगा आपको। एनीवन फ्रॉम द क्लास, दोज हु नो द इपोचेस, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय इपोचेस? Epochs means the number of iterations. Okay, epochs means the number of iteration in which we are going to execute your data set. And the batch size means, let's suppose,
Okay, Nitin ji, thank you so much.
okay, चलो कोई
Yeah.
बात नहीं, कल बताएंगे, ठीक है।
So dear participants, we'll have a quiz till it is available till 7:20, and there are around 1780 questions in this quiz, and every question is carrying 2 marks. So it's just for our record, and it is for our evaluation, not it is not your evaluation. So be ready for that. So here I'm going to share. Here I'm sharing it in chat box. You can click on the link, and you can start your quiz.
कोई सुन रहा है क्लास का?
So you can click on.
मैं लिंक भेज रहा हूँ।
Link is already shared with you.
हाँ,
Manjot ji, link is already shared. आप किसके साथ शेयर करना चाह रहे हैं साहब? Do it with full honesty. It is self introspection.
नहीं सर, वो क्लास से बाहर निकल गया था, उसको लिंक
Okay.
भेजना था।
Okay. No issue. So any question? So are you able to do it? Everybody? Okay, best wishes for your future. Thank you very much for your presence. All the best. Thank you.